Dvoress.
Here we go.
Yeah, 5 bigs, heads up, suited king. And a lot of people, too, are like, I want $1 million. Let's just get it in here.
right. The all-in in the call. Dvoress in a dominating position, looking to dodge an 8 or backdoor diamonds or backdoor straight draw. River card.
It's a no-sider.
It is a 3, and that will do it. It is another signature moment for Daniel Dvoress. He wins his first World Series of Poker bracelet. He takes home more than $1.48 million.
And that was the moment. The largest prize to date in our summer soiree was awarded. Welcome, one and all, back inside City Center in our PokerGO studio for another edition of the World Series of Poker Recap Show. Ali Nejad alongside not Maria Ho, but a perplexed and I assume excited to be here Brent Hanks, owner of some jewelry, mind you, back in 2012, $1,500 no limit. We haven't forgotten.
Right. That's right.
Just, you know, an 8-year cycle, so this year's the one.
It's been a while, Ali. It's been a while. My God, it's nice to be here next to you. It's been quite some time for that as well.
What have you been up to this whole summer since it's your first visit into the studio?
Not a lot, Ali. I don't really leave my home often. I'll go in the backyard, sit there with my children, chase them around, and call it a day.
I don't need to call CPS or anything. It's all playful, right? No, but you've been playing a little golf, right?
A little bit of golf. You know, I'll get out there with your partner in crime, Nick Schulman.
Yeah.
We've been known to hit the links a little bit.
Yeah.
And, you know, a little exercise. I'm trying to lose weight, Ali, you know.
Yeah, that's a little tough during quarantine, let me tell you.
I noticed you've packed on a few.
Okay, easy now. All right, that whole Roseanne Barr comment Nick made during the duel is probably echoing in your mind. Listen, also difficult to do, take down a bracelet, but these guys made it look easy. Here are the winners from the last set of events over on GG Poker. You'll notice event number 49 missing, but the big story, Daniel Dvoress, $1.489 million, and there's also a notable on the board in event 51, Brent.
Yeah, 0-0 day. This guy final tabled the WSOP main event back in 2011, 6th place. Good for about 1.7 million. Iconic family. His father also final tabled the main event in 1983. I believe the only father-son combination to accomplish that feat.
What are the odds that Owen went to dad and was like, what do I do? Given that the game was slightly different back in 1983 than it was now.
I don't know, but maybe the dad helped him out just a little bit. Well, I'd like to talk to Owen at some point about that.
Right? And there was also some notable guys who made some deep runs, didn't quite get to the summit, but they were there on the mountaintop in the conversation. Connor Drynan, of course, famously losing aces to aces in the big one for one drop. And then you got a couple of main event guys who've made the final table.
Yeah, Damian Salas gets it done, 9th place in the same event. And of course, how about Dario Sammartino, runner-up in the main event to Hossein Ensan just last year. Sammartino, bread and butter, has always been online poker, and he is just back turning it on. Here we go in the online streets again.
Now, of course, you saw it at the top of the show. The big story this week, of course, the Millionaire Maker champion, 32-year-old Russian-Canadian Daniel Dvoress, who already had $15.6 million in live career tournament earnings, Brent, and he is now adding to an impressive list of online winnings as well.
Yeah, the online winnings and, of course, the hardware, the bracelet. You know, he can remove that label of being one of the best tournament players, having not won a bracelet, not so fast.
Yeah, that follows quite a few people out there, and it was event number 48 that allowed him to shake that monkey off his back, though if I know anything about Daniel, it's probably something that wasn't really bothering him. He just kind of grabs his hard hat and goes to work. $1,500 buy-in was good for that almost $1.5 million, and it's always nice to have your opponent dominated heads up for all of it.
Just got to hold, king, queen. Oh, looks good, and then all of a sudden the turn. Oh, dear.
Schwitzy.
Got to fade.
Little Schwitzy on the turn.
And it is absolutely clean living.
No 4, no 9, no 8, and the king-queen holds to give Dvoress the victory, and there's the crew that joined him at that final table. Benny Glazer. Or, I'm sorry, Ronnie Kaiser.
Ronnie Kaiser, yeah.
I need to get my eyes checked.
Another online legend. And how about the always animated Anatoly Filatov? Comes in for $770,000.
All thumbs up for Enrico Kamoski, or Kamoshi, not sure. $2,100 no limit hold'em bounty winner for $327,000. And the rest of the crew that joined him don't have the final hand from that showdown. A lot of international names. Look at number 9.
At number 9, Damian Salas, WSOP main event final tableist just a couple years ago. And how about Connor Drynan, another online legend?
Yep. And it Moving forward, event number 51, you try pronouncing it.
Owen O'Day, Ali. That is the champion of event number 51.
Yeah, $100,000 richer for the effort, $400 PLO, and here was the last stand. Always nice to have aces, double paired, but not suited.
Yeah, up against bottom two, and of course a little bit of a wrap there. I shouldn't say a wrap, but an open-ender. And it's just going to be clean living for Owen O'Day. Also, by the way, WSOP main event final table list a few years back as well.
Yeah, wasn't worried about the board pairing, but a deuce or a seven would have spoiled the affair as you look at the remainder of the crew that joined Owen. And event number 52, our first summer double bracelet winner here in 2020. Alex Stasiak, the 1K no limit hold'em, over $250,000 richer for the effort. Just when you think it can't get any better, Brent, how about one for the other wrist?
Yeah, how about that? As sweet as it gets, taking home his second title. He won event number 38, the COVID relief, sort of the opener for GG Poker. King on the river, buries the biscuits, going to take home bracelet number 2.
Yeah, didn't have the best of it, but still managed to get it done. And there's the remainder of the crew that joined Alec. So Alex Stasiak impressively etching his name into the annals of World Series of Poker history alongside a very illustrious list in recent memory alone. Take a look at some of the people who have managed to take down 2 bracelets. At a minimum, in the last 5 years, we've had at least one, including Robert Campbell last year, the Player of the Year.
Yeah, these are some of the best tournament players on the planet. Brian Hastings, the Pirate Max Pescatori. How about Jason Mercier, Benny Glazer, also an online superstar, Sean Deeb, Joe Cotta, Justin Bonomo. My goodness, Ali. Looking at all these names, I need you to pick one from that illustrious list. Who would you place at the top of the double bracelet list?
I mean, the man who was sitting on top of the throne until the Triton London event where Bryn Kenny vaulted him, Justin Bonomo. How do you pick anybody other than him? He's out there putting in more work in the biggest and toughest fields, I feel like, than just about anybody.
Yeah, that's fair, but I'll tell you how you can replace Bonomo. I'm going to take a look at the all-around game. Let's include cash games. Let's include different variants.
Well, that's a different conversation.
I'm going Jason Mercier is the best 2-time bracelet winner in a calendar year.
Okay, Jason Mercier is a very fair pick. And you know, a guy who may be on the tip of our tongues sooner than later, because we have been guilty of having mouthfuls of Ambien, very much asleep at the wheel, on Daniel Dvoress. This man took down the Millionaire Maker and has quietly been putting together one hell of a 2019. Just get a look at some of these results. This is going to cause the IRS to pick up the phone.
Absolute stud. These are 10 massive finishes all the way through January through November, just in 2019 alone.
Would you rather have his May or his November?
Oh boy, I got to tell you what, I'm going November. The fishing's better in the Bahamas. The man loves to catch himself some fish, and that $4 million score at Super High Roller Bowl Bahamas isn't too shabby.
And the man that we're talking about joins us now from north of the border, all the way up in Alberta, Canada, Daniel Dvoress himself. And Daniel, I understand you are squatting at Nick Petrangelo's place, and he's not even there?
I am, yeah. I don't think he's allowed to be in the country right now, so lucky me, right?
Us filthy COVID-riddled Americans, right? What an unfortunate thing. Brent, you take it. I know you want to ask me.
I'm coming in hot. I want to learn more about you as a person. If you're not busy winning millions of dollars playing poker, what else are you doing with your life?
Usually fishing. In the winter, I'll be ice fishing. In the summer, I'll be canoeing. Usually doing something outdoors, trying to get away from the computer.
I love this guy, and that's why I call him the Catfish.
Listen, $1.5 million, Daniel. You're going to have a lot of money with which to bling your little ice house over the lake. Have you given any thought to maybe upgrading to some teak wood or maybe a chandelier in there? You know, a sauna?
No. Yeah, you see, like, the whole point of ice fishing is to really torture yourself. So I think, like, all the outdoor activities that I do, I'll just keep doing in, like, an awful way. And but you know, maybe upgrade like to a real house.
I don't think the torture.
My apartment in Toronto.
I don't think the torture is exclusive to just ice fishing. By the way, I think fishing in general is just an exercise in humility all the time. Real quick, Brent. I know you're up, but this was a $1.5 million score, and not even your biggest. We were looking at the 2019 for you. We were debating about it. You crushed Montenegro in May, but obviously in November you had that big score in the 250K. For you, does the bracelet still carry weight? Is it validating, or is it just all about the zeros now?
No, it's definitely validating, and it's also a lot harder to win a $1,500 tournament with 6,000 runners than it is to win a $250,000 tournament with 50, right? So it's completely different circumstances, so it's still very validating.
Daniel, you've also obviously cut your teeth playing online poker. I've played with you years back on other clients and whatnot. Crushing the live scene, as Ali just pointed out, throughout all of 2019. Where do you really prefer to play? Is it online? Is it live? What do you prefer?
I really enjoy the mix of both. I truly do. For me, live poker, there's a social aspect to it, obviously. You're also, of course, playing just one table, and I feel if I'm playing live, I'm getting better. If I'm playing online, it's a different environment. It's very fast-paced, but it's also a good way to get in a lot of volume. So I really like to have both.
Daniel, I'm curious as to how it is, if you think it's just by accident or with intent, that you've managed to fly as under the radar as you have. Brent and I were just discussing it. Like, you know, you've got the big names, and you are, by all accounts, absolutely deserving of being one of the big names, and yet you somehow seem to just cruise a little bit under the radar. Is that with intent?
I think somewhat. Yes and no. I think just sometimes it's how things line up, and I think it's part of my personality as well. I've kind of just always been someone that, you know, I think my play at the table does the talking, and I don't really try to get my name out there maybe as much as I should.
Well, listen, I know you're trying to get your name out there by virtue of taking down whatever event it is that you're participating in right now. I can't believe that you took the time to join us. We're very thankful that you did, and best of luck the rest of the summer, Daniel. Congrats.
Having me on.
I mean, just a great all-around dude.
Great, man.
He's got the right temperament.
Yeah, I love this kid. I'm telling you.
I don't think there's a lot of like broken computer monitors.
No, and he's got a great crew too, man. I mean, he runs around with Tim Adams. I don't know if you're familiar with Prince of Poultry, Tim Adams. All class. I keep mentioning that. Daniel Dvoress is the epitome of that. This kid is just tremendous, so humble, and one of the best online and live tournament players on the planet.
Yeah, dare I say worthy of the moniker role model as you get a look at his bio and some of the little bullet points out there, Brent.
Yeah, look at that. Born in Russia, now living in Canada, of course, in Nick Petrangelo's house.
Okay, so we're on the same page when it comes to Dvoress, you and I, but we're not always in agreement, which brings me, now that I've got the opportunity with Maria having ceded the chair to you, to our new bit.
Oh.
Good or bad for poker. You ready?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, you like games. First one up, the snap cam on GG.
Snap cam on GG, innovative per usual, technology always there for GG. What could go wrong? Well, I'll tell you what could go wrong. You've got to make sure Mr. Daniel Negreanu himself, Mr. GG Poker, isn't constantly showing us 15 seconds of his giant swimming pool, Ali. Okay, other than that, this is good for poker.
So, good for poker with the asterisk, careful with the swimming pool.
That's it, yeah.
Okay, I hate that I'm saying this because I do agree with you, it's good for poker. If for no other reason, everybody in poker has some screw loose. There's some real characters out there. And you know, you often wonder, who is it behind that screen that I'm playing against? And then you get a 15-second glimpse at the lunatic. You know, I'm just waiting for someone to hold up like a stalk of raw broccoli for no apparent reason. I mean,
I hope it's broccoli. I'll take broccoli. Anything, the broccoli's good.
All right, next up, you just talked about him.
Okay.
NEGREANU and POLK and their whole feud.
Oh, okay.
Good or bad for poker?
I think this is great for poker. I'm an advocate of heroes, villains. Yeah, I need an enemy out there. I need someone to root against. I need the hero that's going to come in with the cape on all the time. I think this is the best thing for poker, having a grudge, having a rivalry with all the cameras focused on that.
I think I'm going to say it's bad for poker, even though I understand like that popcorn eating, you know, edge of your seat kind of vibe that it creates. Because it's distracting for both of them. Right now, it's the summer. They should be focused. And it also takes the wind out of the sails of all of the other things that are going on right now, right? It shifts an unfair amount of focus away from poker in general. Things like what Dvoress is doing.
Thought you were better than
with
this.
the double bracelets. I'm just saying, I'm going to watch, don't get me wrong. I'll have the Redenbacher in the microwave like everybody else. But, you know, I'm just saying, it's a little bit distracting. Okay, moving ahead, the rise of online poker, sort of the reascendance of this platform. It's COVID related. Will it stick? I don't know. Good or bad for poker?
Great for poker. I think it's amazing for poker. Online poker, it's live poker. when we return to normal, if you will, it's not going anywhere. And the fact that online poker is showing us that it is here, it is thriving, people are going to show up. You've got bracelet events happening right now. This is incredible for poker.
See, okay, I couldn't disagree with you more, okay? I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think that not every site is run the same way. Obviously, there are a lot of these private clubs that are popping up here and there, questionable back end on that type of stuff. And I'm not one of these conspiracy theorists, but let's face it, when there are, you know, a lot of big accounts, big money, big games being played, one has to be a little bit more credible. So while you have GG and you have WSOP and reputable operators, there's a lot of people that have crept up to try to take a big bite out of what they see as this big opportunity
You can't
to
live in
rake
fear,
absurd
Ali.
amounts of money.
You can't live in fear.
You know,
Ali.
but I think they're doing harm. And by the way, I don't play poker strictly because I want to sit there and make money. I want to sit next to you, laugh, you know, have a good time, socialize. That's what originally drew us all.
That's what the
to
snap
game.
cam is for.
Sure, but that's 15 seconds.
All right, fine,
right?
fine.
And I know some people do the Zoom thing or whatever, but I think at the end of the day, online taking too much of the lion's share right now with COVID happening, I really am eager to get back to live poker. Maybe not with the plexiglass, though. That's a little bit awkward.
Living in fear.
You might be biased on this next topic.
Yeah? What is it?
Good or bad for poker, you replacing Maria?
This is a disaster for poker. Okay, this is a disaster. Maria, all charm, class, all the way, actually knows what she's talking about. Ali, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I look at me. I'm a mess of a man. I mean, come on, we're going to
You're not
agree.
going to get away with this false self-deprecation here. That's the quintessence of arrogance.
Disaster
to
for
that
poker.
effect. All right, you don't really believe all of this stuff. But fair, I agree with you. I know you're sitting right here, and I probably shouldn't. I agree with you. I was rooting, by the way, for a mechanical at LAX as Maria went down to the airport today, but unfortunately, we have just unearthed confirmation that she is, well, I don't know, we might have just created our own there. I don't think that she's on Air Helmuth
Unbelievable.
there, but she is.
Just playing
south
online,
of the
living the
border.
dream, Maria.
Well, Maria's not the only one flying high. Frank Crivello picking up over $100K for the $800 double stack in event number 53. Pot limit Omaha, Asia. Not a new variant of the game, just start times friendly to people based in that time zone, Brent. And there's the last hand. Set of kings. Had a little stranglehold on this one. One duck available. No cheese, no quackers. And it was all Crivello here. Well done to him. There's the rest of the field that joined him. 8th place, a familiar one.
AJ Chabra, there he is. He's making another final table.
Boy, to play that long and just to end up with 12,000 when 100K looms up top. A little disappointing. No disappointment for the Brazilian, Luis Assunção. 8K HK, no limit hold'em Asia Championship. Picking up 461K in event 55.
Massive score.
He was up against deuces as the Union Jack was out in front. But once the flop came out, Queen of Hearts put Luis firmly in front. And again, on the hunt for waterfowl, not available. The four-sider sealing the deal for the Brazilians. So much talent coming out of that country.
Brazil, once again on top.
And there is the rest of the field. Any notables? Anybody you're familiar with?
I'm going Alan Shine, 4th place finisher, also known as Buttercup.
And rounding it out, events 56 and 7, won by Seth Fisher and Anatoly Suvorov. $1,500 GG Masters, good for $444,000. And then a more modest take, but just a $150 buy-in freeze-out. Hats off to Anatoly. All right, it's time now to bring in a man who's set up at home right now. We've gotten a glimpse at this. Actually, is a little uncomfortably professional. It is Kevin Martin, the Twitch streamer himself. Plays poker, streams it. Kevin, thanks for joining us. My first question for you is, what drew you to Twitch? What is it about the platform that you love so much? And what keeps you motivated to get up and do it? Because it can be a lonely road out there.
Yeah, well, first of all, thanks, gentlemen, for having me. I'm a big fan, and it's exciting to be here. It's a great time for poker. It's a great time for Twitch specifically. What Twitch is gold for this reason. It's live, and it's intimate. When you're watching someone deep in a tournament spot on Twitch, you're watching them with thousands of other people. And option A, this guy could win $500,000, or option B, he's going to be heartbroken. Nobody knows where it's going to go. When you're watching poker that's pre-recorded, it's still exciting, but the live intimacy of Twitch just brings it to a level that in my opinion, is the best.
Kevin, what's your favorite feature as a Twitch streamer? What do you really enjoy the most while you're doing it?
Well, I love that I just get to take random advice from everybody on the internet. Just take their hand critiques and stuff. Yeah. So when you gain an audience on Twitch, you are susceptible to a lot of criticism for sure. But it's awesome, man. You just get some awesome personalities. The community is really, really supportive. And it's 2020 has kind of been like obviously a tough year for a lot of people. It's been a battle, but one small cool piece of that is like poker's really kind of blown up. It's really doing some good things right now.
Well, speaking of good things, GG appears to be taking the community by storm insofar as people really enjoy playing on the site. And you're not short in the tooth. You've played on a number of different online sites throughout the years. What is it about this one that sets it apart? What do you like most?
GG's crushing it. What I like is the software, and it looks really, really cool. All the sites have different like things that they do really well, but what GG has gone for is they really want to make a fun, intimate experience for the casual player. I have a bunch of friends who are professionals who play on GG, but also a lot of my like friends who just started getting into the game. The river peel is like super cool. It's just like a funky, cartoonish vibe. I don't know. It's booming right now during the WSOP, and it's good to see him doing such good things.
I got one more for you.
Hit me.
I need your top 3 streamers right now. Give me your top 3.
Oh, only 3?
I want
only
3. Yeah.
Bam. Well, number 1, you got to give the GOAT Lex Veldhaus his love. Lex, shout out to Team Poker Stars. They're all crushing. Their Twitch streams are just massive. Lex has brought his Twitch stream to a level that it's never been before. His amount of viewership, his amount of community, his amount of subscribers. He shows the highest stakes in the most intimate way possible, and he just crushes. You got to give a shout to Spraggy. Spraggy's one of my favorites. Dry sense of humor. He just had a big score. And then number 3, give it to myself, baby. I'm creating some magic out there for the people. I got to put myself in the top 3, man. We're having some good times on my Twitch stream.
Well, not so good times, the beef between a couple of streamers, Daniel Negreanu and Doug POLK, and I'm wondering what your take is on this whole thing. Do you think that the challenge is going to happen? Is this good for poker or no?
I respect both of them. It's a little tired at this point. I'm a little tired of it. I'm a little over it, to be personal. I mean, I'll probably tune in and watch the match. You know what I mean? I don't thrive in those drama situations, and I think both of them are like uber successful and crushing it, but I personally myself, I'm just gonna say like it is. I've lost a little bit of interest in the D-Negs versus Doug beef.
Yeah, I don't necessarily blame you for that. I think it has grown a little bit tiresome. If the match doesn't happen, I think then we're really looking at some disappointment across the board.
If the match does happen, though, Kevin, I mean, you gonna tune in or?
Hell yes, of course, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Can't look away.
You can't look away. It'll be epic. You know, that'll probably set some viewer records as well.
Whether or not the man endorses it, he knows better than to ignore it. That's for sure. Well, listen, Kevin, I understand that you are mid-tournament right now. Is that correct?
No, dude, a rare day off, man. So again, with Twitch streaming and poker, it's very demanding. I make sure to take days away. Shout out to the savages who can play high stakes poker 7 days a week. I can't. It's like I need to go outside, turn off the cell phone, maintain my mental sanity. So today's a nice day off for me.
Well, shout out to those who are willing to actually share with the world when they're out there and they're grinding, and that includes you. Thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it, Kevin. Good luck the rest of the summer. All right, my first time actually interacting with him. He seems like he's got a voice for radio. I feel like there's some upward ascent available to those pipes.
A voice for radio, but he's also a good-looking guy, too.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's put him on television.
I didn't mean to sell him short.
The guy's an absolute superstar. Everything about these streamers these days, it's folks like Kevin Martin, and he mentioned his top 3, Lex Veldhaus, and of course Spraggy, Tonka. I could name so many of these streamers. They, for me, it's a new avenue for poker, and it's really, I think, the future.
Yeah. I thought when he said Spraggy's big score, I thought he was going to mention Marley, and I was like, that's inappropriate.
Maybe his outfit recently, yeah.
All right, there it is. Kevin Martin, north of the border. That would explain the friendliness in the man. They're just nicer up there, those Maple Leafs, aren't they? Retired poker streamer. That makes sense somewhere. And of course, he's a pro. You know, he's a gamesman. He took down Big Brother Canada once upon a time. Only 6 years into poker. And across those 6 years, numbers like this have only gotten bigger. Just take a look at the highlights across 2020 on GG.
Yeah, and it's event number 48, that largest prize pool, $8.9 million, of course, won by Daniel Dvoress.
No shortage of enthusiasm for the events either. Over 93,000 total entries. If you haven't yet added your name to the list of people who make up that stat, here is the upcoming slate. 6 opportunities, events 59 through 64, a veritable cornucopia.
Oh,
poker.
My goodness. I mean, look at these tournaments. It's every single day. Massive prize pools. Look at these buy-ins.
All right, time now for us to reach into the Twitter sphere and grab our picks from the poker world. Obviously, everybody's out there thumb peddling, and Phil Hellmuth, never any shortage of content coming out of his stream, and this was to announce that he is Joe Biden's running mate, right? Is that what this one was?
I believe so. Political t-shirt, right? Helmet 2020, the red, white, and blue theme going on, Ali. I'm a little curious about the background fencing. It looks like some sort of prison yard, Ali.
Yeah. Listen, send me there. Lock me up if that's a prison yard. That's like a little Polynesian theme. You got to keep the paparazzi out. And then, of course, Alyssa McDonald just living the dream. This gal had $4,000 in online tournament winnings, got herself into a 10K heads up, and is now in the Final Four.
Yeah, what a career storybook sort of finale that's coming up here for Alyssa McDonald, joining David Peters, Michael Zhang, and Michael Adamo, some of the most elite tournament players on the planet. Good luck, Alyssa. Go get them.
Yeah, got her work cut out for her. And speaking of work, this man's pulling double duty. Joined us earlier today, Kevin Martin. Great dude. This was the moment of his online poker career. 5,000 people joined him for it.
Yeah, Mr. Enthusiasm himself, Kevin Martin. This guy's a stud. He's the king of Twitch in my book.
Well, the king of poker commentary and the king of the close of our show is unfortunately not going to be with us this evening. Norman Chad has been diagnosed with COVID-19, and we are sending him all of our love, and we figure in spirit we'll give you the many faces of Norman as we say goodbye. Brent and I will see you next week. Thanks for being with us.
Over the years, I have had great success online, in poker, Twitter, shopping at Target, and Tinder. In here, this is Nevada. Out there, I cannot win a bracelet. In here, I can win a bracelet. Gotta have Cheez-Its. Cheez-Its are the best.